Alright everybody, I am the Amazombie. This is your StarCraft 2 newscast, SC2newscast.com weekly edit. We are on weekly edit number 17, and we are trying something quite new. New for me, not new for all these other young whippersnappers out there, but for those who don't know, maybe this is the first time you're ever seeing this, especially since this is the first time we are ever streaming. That's correct. I'm completely new to the streaming thing. I mean, I've watched a bunch of streams, but actually doing it is an entirely new experience for me. So please bear with me this week. If there are issues with sound, if there are issues with video, please let me know. I think there will be some issues, and I tried to work out a few of them here or there throughout the process of me trying this, and I'm at a point where I think I'm getting an okay level, but I'm not totally sure. So, for those who don't know, who's completely new, I've been doing this. You can go to Blip TV /SC2 Newscast, and you can find all the back episodes of Weekly Edit. I've always just been doing a recording, but now I think I'm going to be trying this out, doing the stream, and then also the Blip TV recording, along with the Podbean podcast. So, for those who don't know, this is the Weekly Edit. This is an editorial show where I come on, usually about a half an hour. Sometimes I bring on guests, and we just talk about what I feel like talking about. I mean, that's basically it. It's just a show for me to bitch about the week in StarCraft 2. I think that's about the best I can give you right now. On 5 days a week, on the other days, what I do is I do a 2 to 5 minute podcast updating all the scores. So if you go, all the scores from the day, all the big tournament news, player, team news, if you go to sc2newscast.com, it'll actually have the blog post. You click on the title of each post, it links you to the MP3. There's also a player on the side. The only problem with the player is it takes like 24 hours to update, because I don't know why. It's a piece of crap, but that's about it. That's basically what I do. So, like I said, this streaming, I'm completely new to this. I do have a few announcements, so hang on till the end of the show. Big announcements. I want to apologize, first of all, to people who listen all the time. And this past week, my office here, which I'm in, as you can see, has been commandeered. Or was commandeered. So I really did not have the opportunity to do my podcast. And then I basically couldn't get to my computer. I couldn't get much. And then add that with my pretty much hellish work week, and I just decided, screw it. I'm just not even going to try to do the podcast. I'm just going to hope for the best. So that's why that hasn't been happening, and I apologize for that, but we should be back on track this week. I think we're going to be good. So, let's start out with what I wanted to talk about today. Most people know I pretty much every week talk about, bam, the GSL. Let's bring up the big logo. There you go. So the GSL is... Interesting things have been happening in the GSL. Quite interesting things, at least by my book. And I just kind of wanted to talk about them some. First of all, let me start by bringing this up. This that I just brought up is the groups for Code S August. The last Code S, not the one that just started last week. Now, if you see here, look at some of these people. Nesty, Curix, MMA Happy, MC, MVP, Optimus, Noblesse, Bomber, Violet, Huck, Killer, Coca, Keen, Nada, Alicia, alright. Byun, Zenio, ASD Puzzle, Trickster, Young, Alive, Top, Hongung, Virus, Clyde, Supernova, Losira, Ensnare, July, Genius. Now, a lot of people have complained because the Code S groups just haven't been changing much, right? They've just kind of been a lot of the same players with a little changes here and there. A few things here and there, but again, not that significant of changes, right? And I agree. I totally agree. And I understand if you've listened to State of the Game or anything with Artosis, what he's talked about is how the GSL Code S, they set it up that way so that pro gamers could actually make a living off of it. That's why it's kind of hard to get in and out of it, and it's kind of hard, and it happens every month and a half or whatever, and instead of like just 3 times a year or 4 times a year or whatever it may be. So the interesting thing about that all is that so far in this Codex that just started, and even that one, at the end of last Codex, we're starting to see the changing of the guards. One of the big ones, the big one that everyone noticed from last time was, of course, MC. Not only did MC get knocked out of Code S, he started in Code A, and he got knocked out. He is no longer in the GSL. MC, no longer in the GSL. He lost 2-1 to Monster. Monster! Not even that super strong of a player. And I've been saying this for a long time. Anyone who's watched my show or listened to my podcast knows that I've been talking about MC falling down for quite a while now. And it's finally showing. And you know what? I don't see MC coming back. I mean, maybe Code A, but I really don't see him coming into Code S. He was so far ahead of his time when he was there, when he was champion, just based on pure mechanics and his timings. Nothing else. His strats, not really. And it got to a point where, since he was so far ahead, everyone else has caught up with him in terms of a lot of the same mechanics, and especially now with the patches coming out, the timings have changed. I don't think he has it in him. I honestly don't. If he can prove me wrong, go for it. I'm not saying that I hate him and I don't ever want to see him again. What I'm saying, though, is I don't think that he has it. So, let me give you guys a screen capture. I have the brackets up here so far of Code A this season. Let's bring it up. Where's my screen? There we go. Okay. So, SC beat Revival, and then beat Select, and then lost to Gumiho, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so SC's out of Code A. Well, I mean, he's still in Code A, but he's out of the tournament. And so, really, instead of going through all that, let's just look at who is no longer in Code A. Revival. Alicia, Slayer's Alicia. MC. Kyrix. Kyrix was in Code F for so long, and he's another guy, I don't see him coming back. MC and Kyrix, I think, are going the way of Fruit Dealer. I mean, honestly. Shiny Star, whatever. Violet, he could maybe be Code A. Sniper, maybe. Maka, now, I don't know about Maka either. I'm curious. And actually, I think I don't know, because he should have beat Sho in this. If anyone saw this match, Maka just dominated pretty much the entire thing. Sase, Sase's good, but I don't think he's as good as a lot of people hype him up to be. Juke 2, he'll be back, I'm sure. Byun, he's pretty good. Tassadar, so Tassadar was really strong for like a month there, and then he's been not doing anything anymore. Trickster, I don't think Trickster's that good. Naniwa, he'll eventually make it to Code A if he keeps trying. Weekend and Yoda might make it back in. So that's kind of interesting. The big names there, of course, Alicia, MC, Kyrix, and Maka, and Byun. I mean, those are some pretty significant people getting booted out. Now, let's look at Code S this season. Here we go. So far, look at this. Noblesse drops to the up and down. Puzzle drops to the up and down. Xenio. Xenio. Could Xenio? I've been saying for a while that Xenio's good, but he just kind of does the same thing over and over, right? He's kind of like what I was talking about with MC, where he just kind of relies on his strong mechanics. His build orders are fine. I don't really have a problem with it. I just don't think they're that great. Keen drops to up and down. Hongung, and Genius. Now, this is kind of what I want to talk about, these events from just last night. Hongung getting dropped down, and Genius. A lot of people have been saying for a while that these two have been kind of riding the crest of Code S and haven't really produced. Yeah, Hongung made it to like a semifinals or whatever, but that's about it, right? Yeah, Genius won BlizzCon, but that was a year ago, and he hasn't done anything since. So, I mean, look at this. Jockg stays in Code S, Genius gets knocked down. Who else? Let's see. Virus advanced. ASD advanced, but Genius and Hong get knocked. The problem is Hong and Genius have been around for a while. They've been riding, this wave, and it's catching up with them. And I don't think they have it in them anymore. They're both Protoss players too, but I just don't see either of them. I don't see them coming back. I think it's about time that I'm calling it kind of the changing of the guard, right? I don't know whether it actually is or not, but that's what I'm calling it. A lot of these guys, let's see, Noblesse kind of new, Puzzle's a bit newer, so that's not really changing the guard. Marine King stayed in Code S. Ensnare. Now, Ensnare's a guy that I think is not going to last another season unless he really bumps up his gameplay. It's good to see Ryung, Bomber Advance, ST, MMA, ASD, and Virus. They're new guys. Happy and Leenock. Leenock is so good, man. That kid is freaking... He's a guy that I could easily see becoming a champion. I think he could do it. Not with Nesty and MVP in the way, but I think he might be able to. And then Ganji. Now Ganji, I wasn't expecting that much from him when he made it into Code S. But he showed up, man. He freaking played some impressive games. He was prepared. Slayer's boxer, man. He's and Sella. They're riding these kids, and they're doing an amazing job, man, because Ganji showed up in those matches last night. It was impressive. July retained, which is fine. Nada retained Huck, Jockg, Marine King, Ensnare. Yeah, and I think Ensnare is going to go down. Now, the next couple, there's 2 more groups, and they play tonight, I believe. Group G, Polt, Killer, Dongregu, and Taeja. Wow, that's a pretty tough group. But you know who I actually see? It's a kind of a hard one to call. But I'm thinking Polt might drop. And I'm thinking maybe Polt might not come back. He might be part of that old guard, Killer, he's just kind of a guy that's there to me. Dongregu's just so ridiculously strong right now. And Taeja's a guy that, if he prepares, he'll take out almost anyone. If he doesn't, he just looks silly. Let's see, so Group H, and then in Group H, let me bring the screen back up for you. There we go. So in Group H, hopefully you guys can all see that, yeah, okay. So in Group H, we have Top, Coca, Supernova, and A-Live. Now, A-Live's another guy I think might be kind of part of that old guard, and a lot of these are those Terrans, and Terrans are so strong right now. Coca, maybe. Top, we'll have to see. Yeah, he made it to the finals last time, but the problem that he has is just that he needs to stop playing so sloppily. Yes, his macro is outstanding, but his build orders are just kind of They just kind of are what they are. That's about all I can tell you. Coca and Supernova, they could go either way. This group is probably one of the hardest ones to predict because I consider most of these players right about the same level. But I think Supernova and Top are actually going to be the ones that make it through. But we'll have to see. I don't know. Everything is changing so much, and people have complained so long that it hasn't been, and I think it's finally catching up. So far, here's actually the next round of 16 brackets. MVP has to play Bomber. This is another complaint I have about the GSL. Why were Nesty and MVP even put in the same half of the bracket? I don't understand how this GSL, I mean, yeah, I understand that they have their little group pick thing, but why are they even on the same side of the bracket? Why can't they figure out a way to put all the good players on opposite sides of the brackets? And that way we may actually someday get a good finals. Instead of this, there's Nesty and MVP are going to play each other in the round of 8. I mean, that's basically, unless Bomber pulls out a miracle. And then apart from that, though, why couldn't Nisty? I don't know. It's it's just such a weird system that I don't fully understand, and I don't know. I don't know. GSL needs to kind of do something because it's in some ways getting a bit stale, and that's something else I wanted to talk about. It was brought up recently on a Team Liquid forum about which show was which one's more entertaining, watching Code A or Code S. And the arguments for both sides are, one, Code A is more volatile. It changes a lot more. There's different people all the time, and then different strats and different. I mean, there's a lot of variation. Code S, not much variation, but higher level of play, right? Less sloppily play. And I've been thinking a lot about this, actually, and actually when that thread came up, I was actually thinking kind of the same thing for about the last week before it, and trying to think of, I wonder which one I actually like watching more. And the thing is, do you like watching I mean, I prefer, I've finally come down to that I do prefer Code S, even though the finals suck, and you're watching the same players over and over and over. Just because I appreciate super high level play, right? Watch game 1 of the last finals. Watch that TVT between frickin' Top and MVP. It was awesome. It was just awesome. I mean, the rest of the finals sucked, right? But that game was amazing. That was worth its weight in gold. So that's pretty cool to see. But I do like watching Code A lot. Just because there's a lot of players that I don't get to see as much. There's a lot of different strats. There's people who come out of nowhere. And it's kind of interesting. In fact, just to give you here, these are the semifinals in Code A this season. Gumiho versus Curious, and then Oz versus Sage. Other than that, and the new state of PvP is just still so undeveloped, and so volatile. So it is kind of exciting on that level that I know it's not going to be 4-gate fest, right? At least it shouldn't be. Oz will probably still 4-gate because that's what he does, and that's what he did against JYP, so that's probably still what he'll do. Sage, though, now Sage is interesting. If you guys didn't see this match of Sage versus Lucky in the round of 8, it was awesome. He came up with a strat, not fully developed, but so different than what was being done at the time before that Curious had no answer. He did it 2 games in a row, the exact same, almost the exact same build, and Lucky just had absolutely no answer to it. It was involved a huge Dark Templar drop, and it was cool, man. It was cool to watch. So that was interesting, and I think that he's gonna tear apart Oz, because Oz, I think, is not. I honestly don't think Oz is as good as a lot of people think that he is. In fact, I think he is. I mean, he's solid, but I think he's a Code A player, and I don't see him really making it back into Code S. I just don't see it. I don't think he has the drive or the ability. So I'm gonna call the finals right now. This is a hard one. Gumiho versus Curious. I think it's gonna be Sage versus Curious, which is kind of cool because I really don't think that Code S needs another Terran. In case you haven't noticed, there's a million of them, right? I mean, Terrans are just overpowering everything. Except Group A in Code S was 4 Terrans. Group E was 3 Terrans. Group C was 3 Terrans. Group D was 2 Terrans. Group E was only 1. Group F was 2. Group G is 2. And Group H is 3. All Terrans. I mean, it was like 20 out of or something like that were Terrans. It was a joke. And so far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 12 people that have advanced to the brackets are Terrans. The other 3 are Zergs. I don't even know. The last Protoss... It's kind of sad that the Protoss hope right now is Killer. And I just don't see it happening. I don't think it's going to happen. Go for it, Killer, but that's kind of the way it is with a bunch of changes. I think that it'll be changed, though, for the next Codex, because the Protoss will be much more familiar with their new builds, and not everyone would have had the time to adapt as of yet. So, I don't know. The GSL is just so interesting, and I understand that there's points where it's not. And I think that there definitely need to make some changes, but not as drastically as some other people think. I think what they need to do is set up, kind of like how they did the Super Tournament or whatever, or the All-Star Tournament or those kind of things. I think they need to set up 2 of those a year and make those huge. I mean, blow them out of proportion. Make the production quality 10 times better. Make the stream 10 times better. Make the matchups and everything, put way more effort, and make that basically like your world champion. I know they want the GSL. They're kind of claiming that, but I don't like the idea of... And I think this was talked about recently on one of the other shows, but I just don't like the idea of someone trying to claim the GSL as world champion. Because to me, GSL isn't the highest... I mean, yeah, it's the highest level, but just, again, because it happens so often and because it's rather volatile, I don't think that it really works for that. I would like to see, like, a huge event, or even... I would like to see GOM TV set up something like a world finals with qualifiers all over the world. I mean, I know that they probably don't have the money to do that, but what I would like to see is GSL World Championships, and set up qualifiers, and then a top 8 for each region, and then the top 4, whatever, from each region gets sent to Korea for the grand finals, and then you crown a world champion, right? And then maybe even make that grand finals like double elimination or something. I don't know. Do something a little different. Do something bigger. So I get, have the whole event over one weekend, rent out a freaking arena, and just do an entire weekend. I think that would be cool. I think that's what GSL needs to do. And they need to make it a big deal where if you win this, that's a huge deal. Not just winning Codes, right? Codes, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's not as big as I think it should be. So, I don't know. I'm sorry if my nose is kind of stuffy today. Oh, in case you guys don't know, I have a 2-year-old or a 2.5-year-old, and you basically, when you have a kid, you get sick. There's even me. I'm a guy who's pretty much healthy as a horse, and I rarely ever get sick, and I have a stronger immune system than most people I know. But holy crap, man, this is not easy. So, I think that's about where I'm going to leave it off for today. There is some cool news, though, coming up, in case anybody is interested, if you like this or not. On next week's show, I said I had a couple announcements, so here they are. For next week's show, we are going to have a woman by the name of Mary Ratcliffe on as a guest. Now, if you don't know who Mary is, she's doing another documentary. A few weeks ago, I had Justin Agnew from Star Nation on, and the guy was great, has a great following for his film. This is a different documentary. This is called Good Game, and you can go to goodgamemovie.com to kind of check it out. And it's basically, I told her before, I was talking with her back and forth, and I've heard of the Good Game movie, but I hadn't heard much about it. So she hooked me up with the website, and I was digging through, and it it's basically in fact, let me bring up the website and show it to you. Hopefully it's good on my stream there. Alright, it's loading slowly. But this is goodgamemovie.com. It's kind of They describe it as Good Game is a feature-length documentary about a group of men who exhibit the competitive drive of an athlete, the tactical skill of a general, and the creative talent of an artist. They bring all of these things to successful careers in competitive gaming as members of Team Evil Genius's StarCraft 2 division. So basically, it's a documentary about EG's SC2. So that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. They've been having a lot of big news and whatnot coming out lately, so that'll be good to see. And so she contacted me, and we've been talking, and she said they're about half done with the film and ready to start doing some more promotion. So I'm really excited and happy. So we should have her on next week. That's big, so make sure to tune in next week. Hopefully I'll be streaming still, and if there's audio or video qualities, it will be cleared up. Hopefully that'll be taken care of. Sorry. Trying not to sneeze there. Okay. That's about it, I think, for today. Is that about it? Oh, wait. I did have one other announcement. One more announcement. I promised everybody giveaways. Okay? I promised everyone GG buttons. The GG button are here. GG buttons, right? Yes. GG! Okay. I've got one to give away right now. Not necessarily right this second, but in this next week. I have one. It's still in the box right here. Brand new. GG button. They take 2 AAA batteries, and I'm not sending those to whoever wins, so be sure if you win, go out and buy a couple AAA batteries and have them ready for when you get your GG button. Okay. Here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to post down below, along with this video, I'm going to post a link to our Facebook page. All you have to do, link to the Facebook page, or like it. Like the Facebook page, right on my wall, say GG. And you are entered. What I'm going to do is everybody who writes on the wall says GG. I'm going to put them all together in a random group and select one at random. And whoever gets selected, we will all contact you over the SC2 Newscast Facebook page, telling you won, and giving you asking for your address to ship your GG button to. That's basically all you got to do. It's free. So just go ahead and like us on the Facebook page, and I will make sure to put that down below. If you go to sc2newscast.com, go to our website, there's a sidebar with a bunch of links. You can go to, it has the link there as well. So that's all you got to do. Like us, post on our wall GG, or you can even, if you say GG as a comment to one of the GG posts, or I'll even post on the Facebook saying, hey everyone, you can GG here as well, and you comment there and you are entered. And what I'm going to do is on next week's show, I'm just gonna pick someone and announce it right there, and then contact them that day. So that's about what we're looking at. So if you're interested, if you want to win a GG button, like us on Facebook. That's all I'm asking. All right, guys. I do have, and by the way, I do have a second GG button, and I'm going to be giving that away in a couple of weeks, but I'm going to be asking for something a little more fun for that one. So I think that's about it I think that's going to wrap us up for this week. I've been going for a little while. Not a terribly long episode, but not really a short one either. So I think that's going to cut us off for this week. So thank you again for joining me. I am the Amazombie, in case you missed that, in case I forgot to say it. This is your weekly edit number 17. Go to sc2newscast.com. Go to blip.tv/sc2newscast. We got a Twitter. We got the Facebook. Do all that kind of jazz. And then you're pretty well covered. Thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see everyone again soon. I'll be on next week. Make sure to tune into the podcast, the Newscast podcast, if you're interested in that. Have a good day.